The Office of the Prime Minister Press Office is the primary liaison between the Fourth Estate and the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet.
Every day, we are working to build a more inclusive economy and a stronger, safer country.
Hear all of the latest developments as the Davis administration carries out the broad mandate of progress and change. Our live weekly press briefings provide full access to current newsmakers on the most topical issues of the day. We facilitate prompt responses from cabinet ministers on the latest reports and get answers on the issues that matter to you.
Will any penalties be levied against the
OPM Press Now, keeping you in the know. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the weekly press briefing of the Office of the Prime Minister. We have a full house this morning, as I can see, and we're so happy that so many young people are a part of that. Good morning to all of you watching live and those watching online as well. We have a busy agenda this morning. We're going to start things off with an update on the government's ongoing multi-island plan to eliminate unregulated communities in the Bahamas. As you know, the Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, has led a task force which has investigated, given notice, and executed the removal of a network of unregulated housing here in New Providence and in Abaco, and Eleuthera is next on that schedule. Now, this morning, Minister Sweeting will give us an update on the results so far and what we can expect next. There are also, as you may know, significant road works underway here in New Providence to make for a smoother ride, which all motorists, I'm sure, can appreciate. There's also rehabilitation work and construction going on in the Family Island, so we'll get an update on that as well. Now, as I mentioned, here at OPM, we're always especially happy to welcome the young people of the country. Many of them are here today on the eve of the National Youth Peace March and Rally. Now, hundreds of primary school and secondary school students will participate in this event, hitting the streets to make a statement about peace in the country and, of course, inviting others to come along. We encourage them in that. We'll hear details on that from Ms. Janice Moss, who is the Acting Deputy Director of Education for Schools Management here in the Capitol. And of course, as oversight for the Family Islands as well. We'll hear about plans for this major event. But we will start things off now with Minister of Works and Family Island Development, Minister Clay Sweeting. Minister.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. My task this morning is pretty simple, and to provide an update on current and future road works for New Providence and the Family Islands, as well as an update on the unregulated communities. As the Minister with responsibility for the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, I take this portfolio very seriously. The Prime Minister has mandated the Ministry of Works to work, no pun intended, expeditiously to streamline the process at the Ministry, to create an aggressive infrastructure program, and to modernize the way we perform at the Ministry. This is important as we are the vehicle that provides all Bahamians and permanent residents and the country with goods and services that help to boost the economy and development. One critical role of the Ministry of Works is ensuring that the infrastructure of the country is up to par with modern-day amenities and safe and reliable roads and thoroughfares. And that is why we continue with our aggressive approach to building, reconstructing, road paving, and pothole patching. Now, the last time I spoke at this event in December, I noted that paving on 25 miles of road was completed in 2023 alone. An earmark for 2024 was 65 miles of arterial and community roads to be completed across the capital. To say the least, that is still the goal of the Ministry of Work Civil Design section. So just to give you an update, as of today, We have tendered 7 contracts that is out for tender now that will pave community roads. The bidding process should end shortly. And these contractors, road paving contractors, 7 different contractors will be paving these community roads. In regards to roads that is paved up to date, in the month of January, we paved Yamacraw Shores, East Street South, Abundant Life Road, an unnamed road off on Abundant Life Road, Bank Lane, Jubilee Gardens. And in February, we carried out works in Kennedy Subdivision, which includes Forge Avenue, Willow Court, Zinna Street, Pine Forest, Vernon Street, Collies Avenue, Carmichael Road, Ramsey Road to Bacardi Road, Cowpen Road, Ballot Road, and in the month of March, works continue on Ballot Road, McKinney to Gladstone, with 300 tons remaining to be paved, and Christie Street between Bay and Shirley Streets, which is works in progress. Cost has not increased, and the total funding remains at $98,210,000, including VAT, and that's for New Providence alone. And we have other road repairs in the Family Islands. Sidewalk construction and drainage repairs is included in this total funding allocation. We also know that there are still more roads needing much attention, and we are progressing steadily. On Monday, I, along with my team from the Civil Design section, toured a number of areas where paving and drainage works are in progress, including the downtown area. If you've passed there lately, you can see that Dassel Street, Christie Street, and other side streets are being worked on, as well as Carmichael Road, moving west towards Coral Harbor. I'm happy to say that I am pleased with the progress that I've seen so far. I want to really thank the residents and the business owners in these areas for their patience and their understanding. We know that sometimes this may be a temporary inconvenience, but as we work to provide safer and better streets for the motoring public. I also want to thank the teams at the Ministry of Works and BARMEX for their efforts toward this mandate to ensure proper infrastructure throughout the country. Your work is definitely not going unnoticed by myself nor the entire Bahamas. Hard work, dedication, and commitment are key to getting the work done that you are proving this to us every day. Also, if you had listened at my midterm budget speech, you would have heard that we are focusing heavily on the Family Islands. We have started to pave and will continue to pave on these many islands. This includes Grand Bahama, Bimini, South Bimini, Abaco, Exuma, Cat Island, Long Island, and just inclusive of North, Central, and South. Now, for some exciting news. Tomorrow, myself along with the Permanent Secretary, Luther Smith, and the team of the Ministry of Works will head into Rock Sound, where we will commission an asphalt plant for 163 miles of road. This is a public-private partnership initiative with Bahamas Striping Group of Companies and its subsidiary company, Caribbean Pavement Solutions. This venture is very significant and will be a major investment for Eleuthera and the Family Islands. It will also play a critical role in effectively and efficiently providing the necessary materials needed as contractors will take on the monumental task of reconstructing, rebuilding, paving, striping, and placing cat eyes on the roads across Eleuthera. We will also have an official signing contract with Quick Fix Construction and New View Construction for the paving of community roads and highways in Eleuthera from Hatchet Bay to Benjamin Town. These two companies are local building companies right from the island of Eleuthera that will be engaged throughout the entire process. Tomorrow's contract signing will kickstart road construction as asphalt is expected to be laid in April. And I want to reiterate, it's asphalt, not sand and seal. So Eleuthera will be getting asphalt, and these initiatives will be well over the investment of $100 million in Eleuthera alone. In regards to the demolition of the illegal structures in unregulated communities throughout the Bahamas, it cannot be stated enough that these communities are a danger to our country. They are environmental, health, and safety concerns, and it is the government's mandate to ensure the safety and welfare of its citizens and lawful residents. The decision to tackle these unregulated communities may be uncomfortable and a tough pill to swallow for some, especially those who may have to vacate these shanty towns. But this Davis administration is committed to tackling this vaccine issue. It is the right thing to do. To date, nearly 300 illegal structures have been demolished across New Providence and Abaco. The task force is traveling to Eleuthera next week to conduct investigations into shanty towns on that island. The team has already completed an initial assessment on the island and are moving into the second phase of the process. So over the course of the next few months, the team will ensure that these areas are monitored to prevent reoccupation. Now let me just say here that the focus is not solely on shanty towns occupied by foreign migrants, and in some cases also Bahamians, but the Building Control Department within the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs will be going after all unregulated structures, which means all buildings that have not been approved by the Ministry of Works. I would like to thank and congratulate the unregulated task force team for their hard work and their efforts. Lastly, on the government's blueprint for change, we committed to the digitization of the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs. The Digitization and Transformation Unit has completed 18 services focusing on the building control section of the Ministry of Works, and these services are being vetted by our team for final approval before going live. We're also assessing our services to streamline building control approvals and other ministry processes. It is our goal to modernize, to streamline, and to make the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs more efficient. Thank you. With that, open the floor for any questions.
Good morning.
Morning.
We know there was a concern, in particular, shanty town off of Cowpin Road, that appears of an allegedly illegal coal mine, and some people would have went in there, made some videos that's been floating around social media. Is there any update on that?
Yeah, so Building Control did an assessment on the area, and that is one of the communities that we're looking at. When we first started the assessment, there were 10 shanty unregulated communities throughout New Providence alone. We have dealt with 3 of those up to date, but we have also assessed all of them. So, and this is one that we are made aware of, and we're doing our due diligence on that as well. It's a process that, you know, I explained in the House of Assembly, and where the process from where it starts to demolition day.
We know some others who have been given extra time with the Abaco shanty towns.
Right, so in the Abaco, when the ministry or the task force went to demolish the homes, there were some persons who, for lack of better words, said that they didn't think that you was really coming. Unfortunately, some of these were mothers with children, so we did give them some extra time in that regard. But the reality is that we're serious about dealing with the situation. So if we say that we are coming to deal with the issue, I want to reiterate that the task force will be there to deal with the issue. Hi, morning.
On roadworks. I know in South Andros, they had some issues there with their roadworks, and the contract was recently canceled, I think. Do you have any updates on if another one is coming down the pipeline for them?
Yeah, so shortly, we are finalizing the assessment. Previously, it was sand and seal. South Andros will now be receiving asphalt roads instead of what the previous contractor had. So we're finalizing so we're going to expand the scopes to include in the new budget. So you'll see shortly some work will start there, but we want to provide more roads in the contract than what was previously allocated.
And on the unregulated communities, what have you been finding, if anything, as it pertains to utilities, illegal connections? And is the ministry working with utility companies such as BPL Water and Sewage to assess the actual losses that would have occurred through those connections?
No, so interestingly enough, you will see in some instances you have illegal connections, but in other instances such as Abaco, 90% of the homes do not have any running water. We also discovered that in the communities there were 3 or 4 generators that were wired, not up to code, and the owners of the generators would then charge a fee for providing electricity to the people in their community. They would provide electricity from 8 till 6 in the morning for a standard rate. So in Abaco, there was no allocation for utilities there. That was one of the biggest issues. Here, in New Providence, we found some situations in that regard, but it seems that there seems to be a trend where persons utilize and take advantage of people in these communities by providing a generator for power and then charge them as if they are the utility company.
During the speech from the throne last year, the government would have said that they intend to change the local government law to enhance the institutions in the Family Islands. Are you able to give, I guess, an update on that?
We had a 19-member committee that traveled throughout the Family Islands to get input from different local government councils and administrators. We have a format that we have at the Attorney General's office that they are working on. So hopefully sooner than later we'll get that completed. There are some things they wanted to in regards to legislation and how they tie into other, because the Local Government Act also ties into other acts such as building control and things of that sort. So hopefully we'll get that completed soon. But the format, the draft is completed and it's at the AG's office.
You able to give a timeline or no?
I usually don't like to give timelines because I like to adhere to them. But I would say that the work has been completed. It's at the AG's office, and as soon as we can get it done, because local government with this act would really empower local government to help to provide for their communities, to raise revenue and donations from persons within the community to help to develop and enhance their way of living. That's it. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Minister, for that very comprehensive account. We're going to move now to matters involving the youth of our country, and specifically the fostering of more peace among young people of the country. We're going to talk about this National Youth Rally, which is set to take place tomorrow, march and rally here through the streets of New Providence. I'll invite now Ms. Janice Moss, the Acting Director of Education for School Management.
A pleasant good morning to all. We at the Ministry of Education, we are extremely excited about our National Youth Peace March and Rally, which is slated for tomorrow. We have engaged all of our young people in classrooms across the length and breadth of the Bahamas. We encourage them to keep abreast of what is happening in the country. Needless to say, one of the emerging themes is violence. And we thought it fitting that we will have our children speak out against the violence that our country is experiencing. And so we wanted their voices to be heard. We wanted them to be seen, because I think we have heard enough from the adults in our country. It's time for us to hear from our children. And they have made it extremely clear that they had enough of the violence. And so it's a positive message. And I believe it's time for us to stop and listen, because not only do they discuss the concerns they have pertaining to violence, but they also speak about solutions, possible solutions, and how we can best solve our issues and how best we can resolve conflicts. And so, we are geared and ready to go. We have also asked our partners in government to assist, and we have the Royal Bahamas Police Force working with us. We have our corporate sponsors. We have called the village to join hands with us and our children to send the message that the Bahamas is a peaceful nation. We work together. We are unified. We know how to live as one. After all, that is what this country was built on. And so I brought a number of persons with me, but I want everyone to know that this march, this is just not the public school. Every school in the country will be involved, from both the public and the private sector. And this march, we have these marches are going to be across the archipelago in every island. We are looking to have some 10,000 children across the country engage, unify, saying that we want peace. Our theme reflects that. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And we're excited. We are super, super excited. And at this time, I am going to call Mr. Jermaine Butler, who is the acting district superintendent and co-chair of this committee, to come and tell us more about the route of this rally and march.
Good morning. Our collaboration consists of, as Madam Didi has said already, the armed forces, Ministry of Education officials, parents, teachers, bus drivers, corporate sponsors, civic groups, and community partners. We have a mammoth task ahead of us, and we expect to be efficient in our event. Our parade will leave the Southern Recreations Ground at 10 a.m. tomorrow, the 15th of March. Our pre-primary and primary schools will exit the initial site, vacancy on the City Market vacant parking lot, adjacent to the Southern Recreation Ground. We will enter Market Street traveling south and then turn west onto Chapel Street and onto Meadow Street. The parade will then turn north onto Nassau Street, leading onto West Bay Street and onto Clifford Park, where the rally will be held. We will be shepherded by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Bahamas Department of Corrections, all of their marching bands, which means our parade will be efficient and safe and lively. Our participants will be refreshed on the parade and at the rally site as well, where we will provide lunches, thanks to our many corporate sponsors, and they will be as comfortable as possible. We will ensure that the buses that are servicing us will be efficient in their movement in terms of getting the students to the Southern Recreation Ground area and also collecting them from the rally site so that they will be at school in time for dismissal at 3 o'clock. I cannot wait to see our young people in action tomorrow. And I fully support their insistence on a peaceful Bahamas. Thank you so much.
This is about our children. You will only hear the voices of our children. We are just facilitating and supporting their efforts So when I say we are excited and you are going to be thrilled, do you know we have the brightest and best students in the world, not only in the world. And so they will, and their talents are endless. And so you will see them in full display in many mediums expressing what peace means to them. But we could not do this alone. We had to turn to the village, and we had many corporate sponsors who said, this is what we need. We want to support our children. So coming now to tell us about the sponsorship is Senior Education Officer, Ms. Desiree Higgs.
Good morning. We would wish to express our deep gratitude to our sponsors for their invaluable support in providing lunch boxes and beverages to sustain and energize our students during this National Youth Peace March and Rally. And these sponsors include, but before I go there, we have platinum, gold, and silver sponsors, and they include Dr. Adrian Fox from the Fox Foundation. We have the United Sanitation, Mr. Henry Dean, Mr. Rohan Kerr from Pepper and Spice, Ados Holding Limited, the Art District, Mr. Mark Altador, New Providence Development Company, St. Agnes Anglican Church, Grace Community Church, New Providence Ecological Park Limited, Little Caesars Pizza, the Butler Sands Group of Companies, Caribbean Bottling Company, Bahama Blue, Super Value, Kay Ferguson and Co., and Ms. Irene Ferguson. So on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, our Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, our Permanent Secretary, Ms. Lorena Brister, our Director, Mrs. Dominique McCartney Russell, the Executive Management Team, and the entire staff, we wish to say thank you for partnering and supporting this very, very important event.
Now, I said this is about the children. And so we had several competitions, and it was tight because our children are very, very competitive. So we had several competitions going on just to, get our children hyped and ready for our Peace March and Rally. Coming now is to tell us about those wonderful competition is District Education Officer, Ms. Sherry Martin.
A very pleasant good morning. The Peace March and Rally is finally here. This huge task has been a journey, and I am so elated to be a part of this great initiative. Our students have spoken and want to be heard. They are declaring enough is enough. Leading up to the National Youth March and Rally, the steering committee thought it fitting to ensure that all students were involved in this timely event. So several competitions were extended throughout the islands of the Bahamas so that both students in the public and the private sector would be a part. The competitions included the TikTok videos. These videos were uploaded to the TikTok app, #EnoughIsEnough242, and the overall winner will be chosen by the most likes. Then there was the logo competition. The overall winner is part of the official logo, which will be worn on our shirts tomorrow on our Peace March and Rally. Essay competitions included 3 categories. Using the theme, Peace Begins With Me. The primary divisions were given 100 words to write, junior 200 words, and the seniors 300 words. There will be 1 overall winner for each category. The results will be shared coming tomorrow. And I know our students and our principals cannot wait. The final category is the banner. Each school was asked to create a banner depicting the theme, Peace Begins With Me. So far, we have gotten our banners in on the deadline, and we have the overall winners for each category for the banners. It will not be fair if I walk away and don't say thank you to our judges. There were judges that took part in this event. Like Madam Didi E. Moss said, we had to include the whole village. So we had our judges for the essays and our judges for the posters, the banners, and we wait to see our overall winners. Are we excited? Yes, we are excited. For tomorrow, all roads will lead to our Peace March, the National Youth Peace March and Rally, tomorrow morning, beginning at 8 a.m., starting at the Southern Recreational Ground. Thank you so much.
I spoke about the talents of our students, and we have a program that will highlight our impressive children. And like I said, they are multi-talented. But coming now to tell us about the program is our education officer, Miss Ruth Penniman.
Good morning. We say enough is enough. Enough to murder. Enough to gang violence. Enough to suicide. The voices of our students will be heard tomorrow. Immediately after the march, the students will assemble at Clifford Park, West Bay Street, in a peace rally. We have students from both the government and independent schools who will be participating in the event. We have representatives from primary, junior, and senior high schools. As the voices of the students will be heard, we have 5 outstanding students from both the independent and public. We can combat the criminal elements of our society. We certainly believe that if we join forces together with other organizations, we can fight crime. There's a cadre of performances. We have incorporated the cultural aspect of our society through the rake and scrape, dance, the songs, poetry reading. We will incorporate social media through Zoom, and you can log into us Facebook Live and share and like the event. In addition, we have schools from our South Central Bahamas, as well as Exuma and Cat Island, who would log in and express what peace means to them. A pledge of peace was written by Miss Kiva Johnson. The students will repeat that pledge, and it is certain that this pledge will be incorporated into their daily lives. We cannot miss and underscore the power of the Almighty God, as our schools will be covered in prayer at the very end of the rally. The winners of the 2024 Junior Junkanoo Woodcock Primary, C.H. Reeves Junior High School, and C.V. Bethel Senior High Schools will climax in a Junkanoo rush out. Listen, this is going to be exciting. So we invite our parents, the general public, to join hands with us, not just only tomorrow for the peace rally, but for the rest of our lives. I say bring back the ghetto days, where children laughed and played, where most of us follow the golden rules. It's going to be exciting. All road leads to Clifford Park tomorrow as we celebrate with a spirit of peace. Thank you and a pleasant morning.
What else do I have to say? I'm certain you know at the Ministry of Education, we are besides ourselves. But because we're here, we have to behave, okay? In our midst, you know, I say, and I would have said, we have the brightest and best students in the world. I decree and declare that because this is what I truly, truly believe. And we are blessed to have two of them in our midst, in the persons of Mr. Carvin Spence and Miss Caitlin Adamson. And Carvin is from C.I. Gibson Secondary School. Caitlin is from, and I have to say it correctly, the Government High School. And so we will hear from them in short right now. So they will come up, one right after the other. We're going to have Master Spence speak first, and after him, you will hear the voice of my dear Caitlin.
Good morning. Enough is enough. I don't know about you, but I personally don't like to live in fear. Enough is enough. Too much violence, too much hate, too much division amongst us young people. Why all the killing? Why all the crime? Shouldn't this be a safer haven for us young people? Don't we know that we are the future? What are we doing to secure a safer and brighter future for us Bahamians? I believe that we should use our voices to stand on business to make a safer Bahamas for each and every one of us. I feel as though a solution to crime in teens is there needs to be a program where people of power, people of respect, like they take a day out of the week, go into the communities, have conversations with the young people, find out the root causes of their behavioral disorders, counsel them, uplift them, let them know that they are not alone, and where you come from does not define who you are or what you're going to be in life. I stand today before you with a simple yet profound message that not only, that it doesn't matter your circumstances in life. You are destined to be great, and you must believe in yourself. And I encourage each and every one of our young people to come out to our youth and our Peace March tomorrow, where I will be one of the speakers. And I can assure you, I come to bring the house down. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Caitlin Adamson. I especially love rallies like this because when we come and we see people talking about something that we've done, for me, I can speak from personal experience, whenever we have a rally or a seminar in school and I've done someone wrong, or I've talked bad about somebody, or, I've made a mistake, I sinned, and I go to a rally or a seminar, these rallies stir conviction. And it makes us want to do better and feel bad about what we've done and change our ways. So I think the Peace Rally and the march that's happening, it's a very good opportunity for the youth to come out and let our voice to be heard, because we always say, no one listen to me, but you're not saying anything. You're not doing anything. And if you want the adults to help you and reach out for help, you have to tell them. No one is a mind reader. If you are, let me know. But no one reads minds. So I think this is a great initiative. I also believe that a solution to crime and violence in the Bahamas, I always say a suggestion box. someone should have a suggestion box on every corner, because for people that don't like to have public interaction, human interaction, or for those, you ever know like those gangsters in school that they sensitive but they don't want you to believe they're sensitive? If you have a suggestion box that's, what's the word, anonymous, I think we could hear a lot from our students if we meet them where they are. Thank you.
There you have it. You heard from the people who this march is all about. I told you they have solutions. At the heart of the ministry is children, approximately 40,000 of them. And we believe every child counts. Our minister, she's excited. Everything that comes out of her mouth is about her, and she takes it personal. They belong to her young people. It is our desire for all children to reach their maximum potential. Hence, it is very critical for us to create a safe, secure, nurturing environment for them to thrive. This Youth Peace March and Rally, under the theme, Peace Begins With Me, is designed to give our young people a voice, a loud voice, to awaken within them a desire for them to express that desire for a positive change, and a desire to pursue excellence in every area, including conduct and conflict resolution. We will not permit our young people to be ignored any longer in their search for solutions to crime and violence and the blood shed in our streets. Enough is enough. And tomorrow, we're expecting to see, business houses, a close down of businesses, because everyone should be at Clifford Park at 12 noon to join hands with our children, your children, the children of the nation, as they stand unified, saying, enough is enough. I thank you for your time.
Are there any questions for the ministry on tomorrow's event?
But I take it that this is being done as a result of, because just several weeks ago we saw two juvenile teens. I think they were government high school students, right? And
Yes.
we're now seeing an uptick in students being victims and even unfortunately perpetrators of crimes. I take it that those incidents are prompting what we're seeing more.
It was even before that, because like I said, we encourage our children, our students, to keep abreast of what is happening in the country. Now, that might have accelerated it, but these conversations were being had all over the country in classrooms. But the clarion call has been sounded that enough. And that's why we heard so many of them saying, when is this going to stop? We need this to stop. And if you hear the stories of how crime is impacting our young people, you know, we have a responsibility to ensure, not only by words, but in the country in which they live, they have to know that they are safe, they are secured, and their future, like we promise them, we always say, you have a bright future. But what are they seeing? And so we want them to know that we're doing all that we can to ensure that They live in our beloved Bahama land, a country that is known for peace. You hear E.O. Penman say we have to go back to the good old days when you could leave your door and your windows open. When if you did something wrong and the neighbor saw you or Miss Susie down the street saw you, she could give you a spank and send you home to your mommy's house. That is where we want to go back. And we want our children, because these young people today, they don't know about those types of times. And that is the Bahamas we know. Unified, peaceful, one. What happens to one happens to everybody. You're most welcome. Any other questions? That's it? Thank you very much.
Listen, if I ever need a hype person, I'm coming to the Ministry of Education. Straight to the Ministry of Education. But we certainly, here at the Office of the Prime Minister, endorse this and hope that everything goes well. Certainly very inspired, especially by the two students here today. Congratulations to you, and we look forward to the results of tomorrow. Thank you. On to a couple of announcements now. As you know, Prime Minister Davis was a part of discussions in his capacity as a member of CARICOM on the issue of trying to restore some normalcy in Haiti, where conditions have deteriorated over the last several weeks. He was a part of virtual discussions again yesterday, and further meetings are scheduled to take place today. As you know, Haiti, along with stakeholders from around the world, are looking to establish a transitional presidential council, and that will be a first step in working to restore some semblance of normalcy there. At this point, what is being done is as part of that transitional council, there are some 7 voting members and 2 non-voting members. Now, as of yesterday, 6 nominees were put forth to be a part of that council. The member who has not put forth a nominee as yet is expected to do that by end of day. And of course, this council is key to getting things moving along, and certainly in the appointment of an interim prime minister, which will of course set the tone for other parts of government to be established and some semblance of normalcy being brought to that country. As for the Bahamas and our national security response, that blockade remains in place to monitor what's happening around the borders of the Bahamas. As you know, several apprehensions have taken place in the last few days, 4 of them, I think to be exact. Due to those apprehensions, some 150-odd Haitian migrants are being detained in Inagua, another 100 of them here in New Providence. Now, the consideration is for those 100 migrants who are here in New Providence to be transported to Inagua. And that entire group, it is being considered, will be taken by boat to Cape Haitian. And let me hasten to say that the transport of those groups is, of course, contingent on the safety of conditions on the ground. Nothing will move if it is deemed that there is a security risk that may pose some danger to members of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force who would be responsible for transporting that group. That is the latest on Haiti. I can also give you an update on the removal, demolition of buildings on Bay Street. Of course, that's a project which has begun as the Ministry of Tourism looks to tidy up the look of Bay Street, particularly that eastern end of Bay Street where there are a number of derelict buildings. I can tell you that another demolition is scheduled for the coming days. That is a 2-story building on the eastern end of Bay Street on the southern side of the street. That will be demolished in the coming days. And just as was the case with other buildings which were demolished, the cost will be applied to the owner of the building, and there will be no cost to the government of the Bahamas. Now, if there are any further questions, I'll take them now.
So we see opposition there calling for minister responsible for Haiti to resign. I guess those calls were sparked as a result of the Office of the Prime Minister having to release a statement on the heels of Minister Sayers intimating the increase increase in Parliament. So was the statement released by OPM done because Sears was misleading the House based on accusations coming from Pintar?
I can only tell you that the position is, as was said, the 1.5% increase will be applied come July, was the date given, and consideration will be made to what will happen moving forward. Yes.
Yes, straw vendors have, at the straw market, have raised concerns of tourism not bringing any cash or cards off the ship with them. They're saying that the cruise ship operators are telling them not to do so because of the crime and everything that's going on. It's affecting their business. Is the Office of the Prime Minister or government aware of this, and is this concerning, as this is the bread and butter for those workers in the straw market?
It is definitely a concern, which is why the tourism minister jumped on that very quickly. Tourism is better than it's ever been. We're up to 9 million visitors, and that number is expected to be exceeded. The tourism minister very deliberately went and spoke with the persons involved, or the cruise line involved, to ensure that something like that does not happen. We continue to assure that the Bahamas is a safe destination, and everything is being done from our end to ensure that that remains the case.
And going back to Haiti, we know with the latest developments, Kenya would have halted sending those 1,000 troops to Haiti until at least a new president or prime minister rather has been voted in. Does the Bahamas position change on sending troops now based on these new developments?
Whatever action is taken or movement is taken by the Bahamas is still contingent on the terms of a United Nations resolution. That remains the case. We will be guided by a UN resolution and what steps that they decide should be taken. So it's a joint force. The Bahamas will not make any movement unilaterally. All right. Thank you, everyone. We are going to shift gears now to introduce our small business vendors for today. And we want you to stay for that. You'll have to taste and tell us, you know. You can't leave before that. Okay, so we will introduce first Sushi Me. See that beautiful display over there? See what y'all would have missed? You would have missed all of that. Sushi Me. So she'll tell us a little bit about her business, how she got started, what she has to offer, and what's there for you to taste.
Well, sushi me, please. Good morning, all. I am Alusa Jean, and I am the first employed customer service rep for what I deem to be the best sushi takeaway in the Bahamas, Sushi Me. On behalf of Sushi Me staff, we would like to thank the Office of the Prime Minister for gifting us this amazing opportunity to be here today. So I know what you're thinking. Sushi Me, huh? For those who don't know. Sushi Me was established as a home-based business the 1st of August, 2021. Funny story, the company started because the chef's husband forced her to. I guess that's why they say, watch you marry. In the beginning, we were very hesitant about starting this business. This is because we were primarily at home. The thought was, who was coming to the house to buy sushi now? But boy, I'm happy that we started, and I'm sure our customers are too. We describe our menu as an Asian fusion with a Bahamian twist. We serve the sushi originals, and that we created ourselves. Our most famous sushi option would have to be the Conky Conk roll. You know it. Especially in the trio sampler, and we know Bahamians love them some conch. Now let me explain to you guys what a trio sampler is. A trio sampler is a plate that includes 3 rolls of your choosing, 4 pieces each, and 12 pieces in total. No. The thought of the trio is thanks to one of our customers, Mr. Bradford. He asked for some rolls to sample, and then the trio sampler option took off. We would also like to thank one of our other first customers, Shadi, for being very supportive because of the love of these customers. We were able to add something else to our menu, and that is our platter options. These options include the build your own platter, where you decide, the Bradford platter, and the Einstein platter, which is a collection of Shadi's and Bradford favorite rolls. With the help of our amazing customers, we were able to grow so big. They told their friends tell their friends, their friends tell their friends, and recently, 2 years exact, we moved into our first storefront location, located at Carey's Plaza, Prince Charles. There we extended our menu even more. And I am glad to say, today we serve sushi, fried rice, noodles, and ramen. And I heard the kitchen is chefing something up too. So y'all stay tuned. To order, you can reach us at 446-5077 via WhatsApp text message. And to learn more about us, you can follow us on Sushimi242, Instagram, Facebook, and even on TikTok. We take our last walk-in orders 20 minutes before our closing. Also, to celebrate this occasion today, we brought some of our famous dishes to share with you guys and enjoy. Once again, we'd like to say thank you to our customers and thank you for having us here today.
All right. Now we have options. We have a snack option today. I'm pleased to welcome Happy Jumpers Party Rental. So they will tell us about what they have to offer. Obviously, as the name implies, they do a lot of children's events, parties for adults, themed events, and snacks to go with it. So please welcome Happy Jumpers Party Rental.
Good morning. My name is Cecilia, and I am the proprietress of Happy Jumpers Party Rental. Happy Jumpers started in 2014 when myself, as a mother, wanted to provide my daughter with a clean, inflatable with good customer service. The options that were available at the time were not something that I was willing to go with. So we started Happy Jumpers. Happy Jumpers started off with 2 inflatables, and since then we have grown and offer an array of products and services that include bounce houses, inflatable slides, both water and dry. We offer tables and chairs, machine rentals. We offer concessions such as cotton candy, gourmet popcorn, buttered popcorn, candy apples. We make party bags, and so on. We also offer concession supplies we are a wholesaler for concession supplies, such as snow cone syrup, popcorn, cotton candy supplies. We are located number 20 Coxway, I'm sorry. We're located number 20 Coxway. You can also find us on TikTok, Facebook, and IG at Happy Jumpers Baham. Any questions?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, vendors. Thank you to our presenters. And I just want to say again, good luck to the Ministry of Education and the young people of the country, and invite everyone to be a part, an observer, or a participant in tomorrow's Peace March. Well, that ends our press briefing for today. We thank you all for being here and for tuning in. And feel free to contact us at the Office of the Prime Minister for any queries and questions. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.